Hello everyone, hope you've been good, hope you're doing amazing. So welcome back to another video clip. In this video clip, we're going to be talking about the momentum strategy, okay? So the momentum strategy is what I use to take my trades. It's what I use as my entry point, okay? We're going to be focusing on everything you need to understand. You need to know about the strategy, anything you need to understand about Forex so that you can be able to use this strategy to be a profitable trader, okay? So the first thing is you need to understand the price action. You need to be very okay with analysis, with your analysis when it comes to analyzing all the market currencies, okay? So the first thing you're going to go through the Pips Masters Handbook, okay? We're going to look at what you need, how you're going to learn Forex, what you need before you become good in price action, what you need to understand so that you can trade Forex, okay? So the Pips Masters is Trader's Handbook is a book that will guide you on what you need, where you need to go, and how you need to approach Forex when you're starting your career in Forex, okay? So the first thing, chapter 1 is the introduction, okay? In short, the chapter 1, it's just some books that you might need to read, the books that will act as your main guide into Forex. If there's some technical terms, there's some terms that you need to understand, okay? Then the books will also give you some information on background, what Forex is all about, what you need, and everything, okay? So chapter 2 is basically some definition of terms, some terms that you need to understand, okay? Then you need to create a broker, okay? So in Forex, you usually use a broker to trade. The broker gives us access to the markets. They're going to give you charts. They're going to give you access to your trading platform, okay? That is the MT4. I hope by now you understand what is an MT4. You know what we mean when we say a broker, okay? Then the trading platform, the MT4, the MT5, the web terminal, your mobile trading platform, okay? Then how to log into the MT4, okay, guys? So chapter 3 is all about the charts, okay? This is where we go into the introduction, the analysis, the fundamental analysis. This is the news trading, okay? Then the technical analysis, which is what we focus mostly on, okay? So you need to understand how to draw your trend lines. You need to understand how to draw your support and resistance. You need to understand how to draw your supply and demand zones. You need to be okay with Fibonacci retracements and Fibonacci extensions, okay? This is just going through some of the things that you'll need when it comes to this strategy, okay? Then the other thing you need to be comfortable with is the market structures, okay? You need to understand what we mean by an uptrend, a downtrend, a ranging market, and a consolidated market. You need to be careful when it comes to the swings. Can you determine a swing when you see it in a chart? Can you know when the market is making higher highs and higher lows, okay? Then when the market is making lower lows and lower highs. Do you understand the difference between uptrends and downtrends? Can you identify when the market is about to change a specific trend, what to look for, okay? Yeah, then you need to look at linear regression. The candlesticks, you need to really be careful when it comes to the candlesticks. You need to at least understand them, okay? It's not a must to understand the name, what we call it, but you need to be able to determine if you spot a candlestick being formed, can you be able to tell if that is a specific reversal candlestick, okay? Does that candlestick have any impact when it comes to the market, okay? Then you need to understand what we mean by trend continuation and trend reversal. You need to understand when the market is likely going to turn, when the market is likely going to just form a consolidation, then continue with the same trend, okay? Can you differentiate between the two? Can you plot your triangles and flags, okay? Can you spot your head and shoulders? Then for trade management, that's something we're going to be looking at, but you need to be careful when it comes to your trade management. What do you mean by a stop loss? What do you mean by a take profit? Can you break even? Can you go ahead and just take a trade and yeah, okay? Can you manage your trade in short? Trading the USD currencies. So basically, this is a book that is going to give you the guide. It's going to show you what you need and where you need to go so that you can access everything that is needed for you to understand Forex, the basics of Forex. Forex this book is not going to make you money. This book is not going to give you everything you need. You need to practice. With Forex, you need to take your time, understand the markets, learn them, understand how the market makers move the market or how the market is going to move. Okay. So once you're done with that, you need to be able to plot to analyze the markets with indicators. Okay, this is not important because most of the times you not use indicators. Most of the people will tell you don't use indicators. Okay. Personally, I'm going to be the strategy we're going to be using. We're going to be using indicators, just a few, but can you trade without using the indicators? Can you use price action, purely price action to trade? Okay, that is very important. Can you do that? Okay, but you also need to be careful. You also need to understand how to plot the indicators. You also need to understand why we plot indicators. Okay, trading robots. Basically, this book is just going to give you some guides. That's all you need. Trading psychology, risk management. So at least be okay with this book before you start going on to trying to understand the trading strategy. Okay. So that is the first part of our video clip. So guys, in general, make sure you're comfortable with Pitmaster's Trader's Handbook. Okay. So the main points you need out of this are just a minute. The main points or the main things that you need to understand out of this are trend lines. You need to be comfortable when it comes to drawing your trend lines. You need to be comfortable when it comes to support and resistance. You need to be able to plot your supply and demand zones comfortably. You need to be able to plot the Fibonacci retracements and Fibonacci extensions. Okay. Then you need to understand the market structure. What do you mean by the swings? Can you plot the higher high, higher low, the lower low, and the lower high? Okay. Can you determine when the trend is in a downtrend and the trend is in an uptrend? Okay. You need to understand the candlesticks. Okay. Then the market formations, the reversal formations, and the continuation formations. Okay. So when you go to the trader's handbook, down there you're going to find the candlesticks and the formations, images of the formations. Just a minute. Yeah, here we go. So the candlesticks, this is based on the it's based on a specific book. I don't remember its name, but you need to understand when the market is going to when a specific candlestick is formed. You need to understand what that candlestick means. Okay, where to look for that candlestick, when to look at that candlestick. Okay, so yes, then you're going to see the formations, the trend continuation formations. Okay, I've done some I've shown you in images the trend reversal patterns with formations that you're going to indicate that the trend is changing. If you're moving in a downtrend, then you're going to get an uptrend and vice versa. Okay. So yes, that's all for now. So this is the first part of our three-part momentum strategy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to analyze a chart. You're going to pick a chart from any of our currencies, and you're going to try and analyze the chart. We're going to try and apply our price action knowledge to the chart and see what we can get. Okay. So let me just open my MT4 in a minute. So yeah. This I just registered an account with FOREX. This is a demo account, okay, with 10k USD balance. So the first thing you always need to do is close the charts with the indicators. We don't need them. You want some fresh charts, okay. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to get the currencies that you want to trade. Okay, they might not always show all the currencies. So the first thing you do is right click on any part of this, then show all. It's going to give you all the currencies that the broker is offering. Okay, so for now what you're going to do is you're going to be using Euro USD, then we're going to be using GBP USD, USD chef, then USD card, then USD JPY. Okay, in short, we're just going to go for the major currencies. AUD USD, then New Zealand USD. So yeah, this is what we're going to go for right now. Here we go. Second thing, we need to analyze these charts. So as always, I don't like using the grid, so I'm going to get rid of the grid. Okay. Then I'm going to convert it to candlesticks. This is the 1 hour time frame. And you want to do a full analysis, okay? We want to do a complete analysis of this pair, okay? This is Euro USD. So the first thing, we're going to go to the monthly time frame. Then the first thing we're going to start with is plotting our support and resistance zones. Okay, we have this point. Then we have this point. I'm trying to figure out the points that are going to be very crucial at this point. Okay? Because of the current market price, you always want to go for an area around where the market is moving or the market is at that point. Okay? Then we can go from probably these points. Okay, I think that's enough for now. Then do we have a trend line that you can plot? Yes. So to avoid this long trend line, what you do is you double click on it, right click, then trend line properties. You want to go to parameters and remove the red, then okay. Then you're going to be able to plot a shorter trend line. Okay. So I'm not comfortable with that trend line yet. It's a very good trend line, but I'm not comfortable with it because of the time frame, and this is MT4. If we were using MT5, it would be okay, but MT4 is not going to adapt and going to move according to what we plot. Okay, now down to the weekly. Zoom out. Do we see anything that we can plot? So the other thing you need to know is this vertical scale that you can always move so that you can find a good place to plot that currency. Okay, so we have this, but the chart is not giving us room to continue and plot and to be able to analyze the market further. So you can shift that chart slightly. Okay, so that is what we have. So we have plotted our trend line somewhere around there. Okay, this point we have assumed this week. We've assumed this point and this point and this point. We could have another trend line around here. Not the best, but yeah. Okay, we could have that, but I'm not comfortable with it, so we're going to delete it. Okay, so it doesn't really matter how good your analysis is. It doesn't really matter what your analysis looks like. In the end of the day, everybody has a different view on whatever they're looking at. Okay, so long as in the end of the day you're going to make money out of your analysis, that's all that matters. Okay, so we could go for, yeah, I think that's it. So we go down to 1 day. Don't forget the vertical scale. Then we could zoom in slightly. So insert. Then we're going to go for our supply and demand zones. We have this zone. Okay. I hope you understand why I'm doing that zone. Then what else do we have? Okay. Insert shapes, rectangle. We have this zone. Okay. Insert shapes, rectangle. We have around this zone. Hope you can see this. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, we have something of that sort. Then we could go to 4 hours and try and find something else. So what do we have? Draw a trend line around here, which is not the best. So yeah, we're getting rid of this. Okay. Yeah, I think we are good to go. The reason I've not gone all the way out and drawn some trend lines such as this is because it's not something we are comfortable with, or the market is not going to play with, or the market is not going to react to that trend line right now. So we don't really need it. It's just going to make your chart dirty and complicated for no apparent reason. Okay. So yes, this is the 4-hour chart. We could now move on to the 1-hour chart and try and see what we have. Always remember to zoom in and zoom out as much as possible. Try and find all possible scenarios in your chart in the market. So long as you find something that you're comfortable with, plot it. Okay, I might miss some and you might spot them. Make sure you draw them. Okay. You can see that is not the most comfortable one because of this breakout. We can't assume it's a false breakout because generally we have the market moving in some consolidated manner. Okay, so from our analysis, what you can determine is that the market is a bit consolidated. The market is moving in a sideways direction. I hope you guys can see this. From this point, the market is moving sideways. Okay, but it's forming some good trading opportunities. You can see the market bouncing from the supply and demand zones. So we can be able to determine where the market is probably going to go next. Okay, so based on price action, we could say this. The market is either going to break out of this point, or the market is going to move downwards to our supply and demand zones. Okay, or even further downwards around this point. Okay, so that is what we have based on the price action that we've done. If the market is going to break this supply and demand zone, then we're going to see the market moving higher to a higher point. Okay, but if the market is not going to break that point, then we can expect the market is going to move to around to some points below there. Okay, to our supply zones. Okay, so that is the first currency. We're going to look at USD CAD. grid. That's the first thing I always do. Then convert to candlesticks. The other thing you guys need to understand when it comes to analyzing the market is you need the wick of that candlestick. You always need the wick of the candlestick, irrespective of how the market moved. You always look at the wick of the candlestick. Okay, the tip, the last tip of that candlestick. Okay, guys. So let's start with this. Let's analyze this currency. So first thing, our support and resistance zones. This is not the most comfortable point. After this point. Okay. So we have that. We have this. What else do we have? It is going to give us some trading opportunities. We have this. Then we have a trend line. I don't know if you guys can spot this. We have something of that sort. Not the best, but yeah. We could find this, but let's see. No, it's not the best, so we're going to assume that. Then we're going to go for this point. Then this point. You can notice I'm going for the wick of that candlestick. The reason behind this is the monthly time frame. At one point within a specific day, there are 100 or whatever number of candlesticks that formed around this point. So this at one point, this is a very critical point. So you don't assume this point. You don't go for the body. Always aim for the candlestick, for the wick of that candlestick. Okay. So yeah, so I think for the monthly that we do, now to the weekly. From the weekly, then we can shift our chart slightly. From the weekly, we have a few options. We have a few points. Basically, you can see that the market is kind of moving in a sideways manner. Okay. So that's one thing we need to be careful about. Now down to the daily. Can we plot anything on the daily? Yes. First thing we're going to go for the supports in the resistance. We have this point. So we have this point. Then we have this point. Okay. Then we have this point. We have this point. Yeah. So we have those points. We could look for more. There is no limit as to how many points you can draw. Okay. Then any trend lines, yeah, we can spot some sort of a trend moving downwards. Not the best, but yeah, we have something of that sort around there. Then we have another point around here. Not the best, not comfortable with that, so I'm just going to delete it. Okay. So yeah, we have that. So zoomed out and slightly zoomed in. So yeah, that is what we have. Okay. Now down to the 4 hours. Zoomed in slightly. Start with zoomed out point view. So yeah, this is what we have. We have this point, which I'm not really going to fit, but yeah. So yeah, we have that. So we're going to assume this point and call it a false breakout. It's not the best assumption, but we have some very good points that are connecting to our trend line, including the recent one. Okay. Then we could go for our supply and demand zone around the lowest point, the rectangle. So we could go for supply and demand zone around the current market price, below the current market price. So that point. On the 1 hour, what do we have? We could zoom in. Do we have anything that we can call comfortable? No. Okay, generally you can see where we're going, guys. You need to really analyze these charts. You need to take your time and analyze the charts, because I'm very sure there are things I'm missing and there are things I am assuming that are going to be important in the end of the day. So yeah, so that is what we have. So from our analysis on Euro USD, what can we assume? The market is probably going to drop. But if the market is going to break this point, then we can expect the market is going to form some higher highs. Okay. But based on this, we have an uptrend, then a consolidation. So probably could form a new higher high, then we're going to continue with them. With the uptrend, okay? For USD CAD, what do we have? It's a downtrend, okay? You can see where the market is moving towards. So that is generally a downtrend, okay? Can we determine the higher highs and the higher lows? So we have certain points. We have this point. We have this point. We have this point. Okay? So these are things that you need to be able to determine. Can you determine what the trend is in that market, specific market? You can see this was about to form a new high, but failed by a few pips. Not a few, because this is the 4-hour chart, but yeah. Then we have a new low around here. So probably we're going to form a slightly lower high, okay? But let's see, we're going to watch and see what the market is going to break this point and form a newer low. So we need to watch. We need to just wait and see what the market is going to do. So the aim, or why we need this strategy, is to make sure we eliminate all these uncertainties. You're not sure whether the market is going to break out or the market is going to form another slight high. Okay, so for the strategy, it's going to assist in eliminating all this uncertainty and give you a perfect entry or a good entry that is going to be a bit more rewarding as compared to just using price action on its own. Okay, so yes, so that is the first part of this video clip. I'm going to take a short break, then I'm going to come back and we're going to continue. So yeah, have a good one.